I was sat at my desk when I was assigned a seemingly simple task, and the task was to create a front-end component that renders different messages based on different inputs. Sounds simple, right? But in reality, this cost me days because I had the wrong approach to this task. And in this video, we're going to talk about something called test-driven development and how it significantly speeds up your development time and gives you more confidence in your code. My name is Hakeem, and my mission is to teach you Web3 development so you can get your dream role in Web3. So let's begin. In front of me here, I have a simple React application, and we have this component, as you can see here, renders some text here. Now, this is what we consider a dumb component. So it has no state, there's no use state, there's no use effects. It simply renders what it is given. Whereas the get user message function here is what we're using to logically determine which message to show. So this function simply checks whether or not you are old enough, you are logged in, and are you subscribed. The typical approach to do right now will be to head over to this get user message, which is an empty function, and start writing logic like if is logged in, blah blah blah, right? And then start going through the logic in the actual function itself, and then write tests afterwards to make sure that what you've written is legitimate. But let's just take a moment for a second. Imagine you about to enter a maze, and every time you went the wrong way, you lost money. Now, would you do that or get a map first and then figure out the optimal path or the correct path to get to your destination? Now, obviously, most people would say the latter, use the map, find the correct path, and then get there. So, why do we not take the same approach in software development? I truly believe it's a simple lack of education and just plain ignorance. Because once you actually adopt this methodology, you'll see in a moment now how fast you can code and how obvious the solution becomes. So let's create a new file. Let's call it get user message.spec.ts, and let's just write down. Let's just clarify the criteria. So age older than 18, cannot be logged in if not older than 18, and cannot be subscribed if not logged in. So that's our three criteria. Now for the test, we're going to use Jest, which I have already installed here, and I'll include on screen now how you can do the same. Again, the link to the repository is in the description below. Just simply clone it and you can follow along. So the first thing you want to do is write a describe block, and we'll call it get user message. So that's the name of the test suite. And then we want to write the first scenario. So we don't actually define the test first. We'll just write down the name of the test we want to do. And we want them all to fail initially. So what's our first criteria? It must show a message if older than 18. Now, do you want it to show a message if you're not older than 18? Sure, why not? So it must show a non-eligible message if not older than 18. Logged in, so it must show logged in message if logged in. So we haven't defined exactly what this logged in message is. Like, is it prompting the user to log in? Is it saying you are logged in? So maybe it's just notifying you. again, I haven't given much context to this, and I've done that specifically. You want to actually work through this and not use AI. This is one of the things I would say you don't want to use AI for, because in your situation, you're going to have specific context to your application. So maybe there's some other dependency, or there's some sort of asynchronous process in the background that gets passed through as a prop and will affect all of your every single piece of logic in some way. So let's say maybe there's a special time period in the app where during this time period a user is eligible for some sort of reward, and now that would significantly change the way you define your logic. So in this scenario here, it's going to be a simple case of, are you older than 18? Are you logged in? If you're not logged in, we want you to subscribe. If you are subscribed, then we just show is logged in. Okay, so must show login message if older than 18, must show a non-eligible message if you're not older than 18, and then it must show not logged in, but it must show subscribe message if logged in and eligible. And then we could say for the last one, if we're logged in, we're subscribed, we should see no banner at all. Actually, we'll do that one. So there's no banner at all. So it must not show a message if subscribed. Now, instead of writing the logic in the function itself, we're going to continue writing these tests, and they're all going to fail. Now, the first thing we want to do is define what we want them to do. Now, each it statement is a callback, and we're going to follow the arrange, act, assert methodology. But as you're going to see here, we combine the act and arrange into one single line, and then we assert on the next line, so it's a little bit cleaner. So we have const result equals get user message, and then because we're using the destructuring, we pass through an object, and then we say age will be 18, and then is logged in will be false, no, false, is subscribed will be also false. Let me just move this to the left. So we've done the arrange and act all in one line here. So we've arranged it by passing through these specific props, and then we're acting by calling the function itself, assigning it to a variable, and then now we're going to use the expect function from Jest to say result to be, and then whatever we want it to be. So it can be please log in. And now we're going to run this to, actually, let me just comment out these because this will break the test suite. Let's hit run. And look at that, it's failed. And why is it failed? All restricted elements are unused. I guess we can just console log them for now. Age is logged in and is subscribed. So let's see why it failed. We want an actual test error, not a TypeScript. Okay, there we go. So the test expected a please login string that we've done here, but we received undefined because we haven't actually done anything in the function. We're just console logging right. So what we can do now is we can head back to our function here to the left and then literally just satisfy this test that we've just created. So let's say if age is greater than or equal to 18, return please log in. Hit save, run the test, and there we go, it's passed now. And then you repeat this process with each unit test. So for the next one, it must show a non-eligible message if not older than 18. So as you can imagine, it will be very similar to this first one. So another callback, copy this, oops, paste it in. We're going to change this to 17. and we're going to just run it. It should fail. Cool. We got undefined. So then now we say you are under 18. And now we need another if statement to say if age is less than 18, return you are under 18. Then we hit run. And as you can see here, we're building out the foundation of the function and we're getting unit tests too. So we know for a fact that our code works as we expect it. Now, this is a very simple example, but let's say we had like 5 different parameters in there and they all depended on each other in some way. So you could have like up to 50 different scenarios. TDD will save you in these big complicated scenarios, I promise you. And even for the simple ones, because what seems simple can actually become very complicated if you don't use TDD. Now, I just want to emphasize TDD is not a one size fits all. If you're doing like a hackathon or some sort of project where the quality isn't as senior as the speed of which you deliver the product, then I would just do normal, regular style of coding where you write the code first and you maybe don't even need tests in that situation. But for a production grade application where there's real users and you have to move quickly and produce tests, you want that confidence to know that this isn't going to break. This will work 99% of the time, and I'll never have to come back to it ever again unless there's some weird third party dependency. But I know that my code is sound. So TDD just really gives you that peace of mind that this is going to work. I won't have to come back to it again, and you move fast through your code. Trust me, just try it and let me know how it goes. Let me know in the comments your experience with TDD. I'm curious to know more. That's all for this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys soon.